So I'm Samantha Murphy.
I'm Patrick Murphy.
And this is our story about generosity. So it was probably the fall of 2016. It might have been January of 2017. Did a series on, I think it was called Try the Tithe. At the end of the service, a card was passed around and you were asked to see if you wanted to make that step and try tithing. And so together, that piece of paper came around and we looked at each other and said, let's give it a go. Let's try this. Somebody in the organization, they sent out the form around tax season with your donation statement. And I got the mail that day and I opened it. And my reaction was total elation. I was so excited about the amount that we had contributed. So I left the piece of paper in the Bill newspaper, area.
Thinking I'd never find it.
I don't know what I thought. I did. I left it out in the open. It was just there because I was excited and proud. And that was not the same reaction that my husband had when he found that piece of paper.
I was a little shocked just to see the amount of money, that had been given away. And, there was probably a somewhat heated discussion, we'll call it.
So we don't argue much. I will say I feel like we have great communication with each other. This was by far and away the first and only time where I felt like we were miles apart. It was just super hard. I mean, I was shocked. I felt blindsided, and I think that's how he felt as well. You forgot we were doing it, and so all of a sudden, you find yourselves as a married couple on two different sides of the table. Very clearly, the next day, I remember I had to leave early. I travel a lot for work. I had to get on a plane and go. And I sat leaving Oakland Airport on that Southwest plane and looked out the window, and I was just like full of tears. It was one of the first times that I really spoke to God out loud and just said, help me. Like, I don't understand. I thought I was doing the right thing. And how could this be the reaction?
I do a fair amount of driving for work, so there was a lot of time to stew upon it and just process it. And it's not as if we were like, man, we can't make our bills this month, or what happened to all the money, or where did it go, or why are we so broke? So there was part of me that, was coming around to it while you were still out of town.
Yeah, so I went on my way to work, I'm in sales and marketing, so lots of presentations, just high energy, tried to force that out of my mind, went and on the road, killed it that week, and we closed a really big deal. We closed a deal we'd been working on for a long time at work, and felt really good about that. Got back to the airport, and my boss called. And I debated answering because it was the end of a long week. I was tired. I was like, I really don't want to talk to my boss right now, but okay. So I picked up the phone and she said to me, I just wanted to tell you what a great job you did this week. I'm so proud of you. It was amazing. And I'm just, as a token of my gratitude, I want to give you $25,000 just for closing this really big deal and for doing an incredible job. And I think for anybody, you would be, I was speechless, but I started crying in the airport because I knew in that moment that was the sign that he needed, that we were on the right path. I came home from that trip and obviously we both, said, I'm sorry for having that conversation. We both felt bad all week. And then I shared with him the news that we had just gotten this influx of cash that we had not anticipated. So by the time the money came, and of course, taxes are taken out, it was a little over $10,000. And we kind of went back and forth, our house, there's a lot of projects we want to do in the house. We have two small kids who we need to start a college savings fund for that we haven't done yet. There's all these things on our list that we want to do as a married couple. And at that same time, so this is probably around March of 2017, the service and information on Walk for Water came out. Mm-hmm. And you are in the water business. important.
Clean water is basically kind of the end goal for what I do in terms of my industry. So once the Walk for Water thing came up, it was like, wow, okay, well, this is something that resonates with me right from the beginning. So
I think the irony was that after that bonus, it was roughly $10,000, and that just so happened to be the exact amount that it cost to build a well. And so again, it was just like a sign from God saying, how are you going to spend this gift? Because it's my money and you're managing it. Is that new toy, is that home improvement project more important than giving access to clean water to an entire village? And I think specifically at that time,
it was a slap in the face to me, like, okay, this is all making sense now, right? You know, it's coming full circle here. Like, we donated this money. I was upset that it was gone because I didn't know we donated it, but that's a different question. But it was more of, hey, look what God has done and look where we've come now. Is like, we were missing, I was missing this money. And now, boom, it's been thrown right back into your lap. So what are you going to do with it? Yeah. So what are you going to do with it now? It was, and in my mind, it wasn't just, oh, let's put it back in the bank and make up for what we already donated. It was like, no, there's something else happening here. There's a bigger picture. You know, we need to sit back and take this all in and really figure out what's going on here. Like, this isn't just some random occurrence type of a deal.
All I know is that the joy that we got from doing that has stayed with us 2 years later. We committed to building another well this year. We just, we did a refi, and we said the first thing with some of that money, we're building our own well again. And so we signed up to do that, and it's become something we're pretty passionate about, because that joy will outlast anything we buy, any trip we take. The moral of our story is really that we haven't hurt for the initial tithe that we did and that money. We haven't hurt for the bonus that we donated towards the well, and we haven't hurt financially since then after making that commitment to continue investing in the church and in God's kingdom. You know, God will provide no matter what.